Well, Woody, it's been a while since we've caught up in terms of the academy, particularly in the new year, but I thought it would be a really good opportunity to chat based on Harry Chard making his first team debut on Tuesday against Birmingham City. A fantastic moment for the young left-back.
Yeah, fantastic moment for Harry. He's worked ever so hard and made his journey all the way from the foundation phase into the YDP, and now gets an opportunity with the first team. Brilliant to see him part of the squad, but also get the opportunity to go onto the pitch. Held his own out there. Brilliant for us as academy staff to watch him out there alongside Ant as well. The Bristol Street Motors gives us that opportunity to put some younger players into the squad. I'm really pleased for Harry to make his first team debut.
Ian Holloway's been so complimentary of not only Harry but a number of young talented footballers that we've got in the under-18s, so it must be a great feeling for him not only to get on the pitch as well but make his debut in front of fans.
Yeah, I think that added sort of extra pressure in terms of it is an official sort of first team game. Some of the boys thrive in that environment, and some of the boys find it a little bit difficult. But what we try and do across the FA Youth Cup and some other environments across their previous couple of years is try and prepare them as best as possible for when they do get them opportunities. I know it's not a full stadium in terms of attendance, but it still has that extra little added feel to the game rather than it being an under-18 fixture. So them experiences just continue their young journeys. They're still sort of 17 and 18 years old, so to see them out there, and sometimes you look across the pitch and you see that there's not that much difference physically between some of the players, but actually in terms of age there's quite a big gap. So that experience that they get from that fixture and that opportunity will hold them in good stead going forward.
Two more of your players featured on Tuesday against Birmingham as well. Ant McCormick getting another 90 minutes, and there was a place for George Olsen on the bench as well, so do those two great as well?
Yeah, they both work really hard alongside a lot of our second years, and now that our first years have been in the programme for sort of like 6 months, half a year, they're starting to get used to the habits and behaviours as well across what we expect as an academy environment. That's led by Ant as sort of like the under-18s captain, and he makes sure the standards, habits and behaviours between the group are strong. Everybody works for each other all together, and then for Ant it's brilliant to see him transfer them attributes and them skills that he's got within his character and personality onto the pitch, and you can see that across the two games, 90 minutes that he's played. He showed really good character in some really challenging moments, and that's been brilliant for him to sort of learn from them, and that will hold him in good stead as well going forward into the next couple of weeks, couple of months of the season.
Over 2 months now, Ian Holloway's been at the helm here at Swindon Town, and it seems to me that you're having a really good relationship with him, continuing that pathway that we're really creating here at Swindon, and we're seeing so many opportunities for young players. Yeah,
the pathway's brilliant. It's been sort of in the making for sort of 2-3 seasons now, really strong over the last sort of 18 months, and hopefully over the next 6 months of this season we'll see some more breakthrough. A lot of the boys train with the first team, and that relationship between the first team and the academy is really strong through the first team staff and the academy staff, and that was shown in the last FA Youth Cup game when the manager and Marcus travelled on the coach to the fixture. Really involved in everything we did. Co-coms from the gaffer was brilliant for everybody, and he knows everyone's name and face. So you can see the relationship and the pathway between academy and first team strong. From our perspective, it's just making sure we continue to do the right things. We're making sure they have standards, good habits and behaviours, and try and improve as a footballer. And a lot of our players at the moment are going in the right direction.
We're talking about just 3 players that have featured, particularly on Tuesday night, and there's a number of players that have featured not only in first team training but have been around the gaffer in Liam Hutt. I know Lucas Myers and Anton Robinson have been working closely with Steve Mildenhall, but one that's featured quite heavily for Ian Holloway since he's been in is Bo Tanamine. He's spoken very highly of the winger, and it's someone that you're having to live without at the moment as he integrates with the first team a lot more.
Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet moment when boys sort of transition across, but that's what we're here for. That's why we work for the club and the boys, and try and make sure that we do everything right for them. And with Botan at the moment, transitioning across with the first team full time is what he needs. The good thing about that sort of transition is everybody's working together. It's not just he moves across and then we all forget about him. There's a lot of transition between the physical work that we do. There's a lot of transition between player care across the 2 different departments, and making sure that he maintains his education as part of his under-18 scholarship. Not that he always wants to do it, but there's obviously a real focus on that for at least the next season. So between us, we just work hard, make sure we do everything for them, and it's just brilliant to see Botan now make that transition across with the first team training wise full time. Hopefully he gets more opportunities on the pitch and he can show what he has done for us in the under-18s over the last 18 months.
Look, it's been a fantastic start to 2025. I know you're 2 games, both unbeaten so far, and it's really moving in the right direction. But there's so much positivity around the academy, not just in these players that we're seeing in the first team. I want to talk about some of the younger players that you've had feature in the under-18s in the absence of some of these players as well, notably Ash Glynn. He's scored a few times, I know, for the under-18s, and he's making a real impression.
Yeah, it's been brilliant to see a natural transition when some boys go across with the first team and then players go out on loan, and there's a couple of injuries and players we have to manage. So we look in the age groups below. We've got a couple of really strong under-15s, and Ash Glynn's one of those players that has earned the opportunity again, sort of standards, habits, behaviours, commitment, overall general tactical and technical understanding of where he is at as an under-15 has been brilliant. So we've put him into the under-18 squad. It's a big ask, big stretch, 2-3 years against some of the players in the games he's playing against, and he's held his own. Actually scored 2 in 2 now, so it's really good for him. It's making sure that we do the right things for not just the under-18s group, but also the youth development phase, 16s, 15s, 14s below, the groups below that are going to feed into the under-18s. So for him personally, it's been brilliant. There'll be other opportunities for the under-15s across the next few weeks and few months. And then it's just, again, sort of down to them to be able to stick up to it physically and be able to cope.
A few of those names that fans will start to see, I'm sure, around your squads, some of those that they might have seen already, Zach So, Jack Dorland, as well as Ash Glynn, Ben Head as well. There's plenty of names out there that Swindon fans are going to become familiar with sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I like the fact that the Swindon community and fans have a real sort of buy-in and connection to the academy, and sometimes it's a few years down the line that they actually are able to put a face to a name. So our younger players at the moment, they'll start to see a few names pop up and scoring goals and goal contributions and involvements in national training groups and stuff like that. So that's brilliant. It's just a few more years down the line because they're so young before you probably actually see them in an FA Youth Cup game, or if you can get down to an under-18 fixture and put a face to a name, then it's brilliant. You're more than welcome. The boys love the Swindon Town supporters getting behind the lads. So the more the merrier. The more we can produce within the under-18s and then into the first team across the next sort of 6 months to the next couple of years. That's what we're about, really.
Lastly, leads me on to my final question. I know you've had plenty of support recently at under-18s games, and as you said there, the players really enjoy the support that they get from Swindon Town supporters. But unbeaten so far in 2025, you'll have a tough test tomorrow against local rivals as such, Forest Green Rovers, in your 3rd meeting this season. Yeah,
so it's like the second sort of leg of the league table as such, our home fixture. So we look forward to the game. We've started well. We actually had a really good 6 months, minus sort of like the last week pre-Christmas, post-FA Youth Cup, but the boys have put in some really good performances. We're seeing some really good individual progression and development, and we can see that with the boys that have gone in the first team, but there's also a lot of players that haven't had that opportunity yet that are also developing in the right way. So it's really important that we maintain that. It's really important that the performances over the next few weeks are strong. They look like a Swindon Town team, and that will help develop the individuals into the potential that we see in every player, alongside working with some under-15s within that squad as well. So our group will look a little bit different over the next sort of few weeks and few months, with a lot of younger players involved and some players out on loan and some players in the first team. But we have to just continue to be a Swindon Town team, be hard-working, be creative, and then try and get a really good performance Saturday, which will set us up into next week.